Hey, good evening everybody and welcome back to Press Play. I'm your host JJ48, and tonight, if all goes according to plan, we should be finishing up Link's Awakening. And then we'll get to something really exciting, talking about Link's Awakening. So, as you may recall, last time we had beaten the last two dungeons and collected all the Siren's instruments, so let's head up to the egg on the mountain. We have been passing it by the whole game, we have been told much about it, and now we should finally be able to head up here and do what we came to do. After getting treated to a nice cutscene of all the instruments playing the Windfish's Ballad. You can hear the instruments, all the instruments in there, very nice. And that's what an egg opening looks like. The time has come. The Windfish awaits. Enter the egg. Hoot hoot. Yeah, that's all you're gonna say? Okay. The Windfish's egg. Well. Alright, so we fell down here, and one of the things is we are actually in a bit of a maze, and we need some instructions on how to get through. So I think before we go any further, let's head back to town and try checking on something back there. Are you able to hear the game audio at all? It's sounding kind of quiet to me. Let me bump it up just a little bit. Okay, so we finally found our way into the Windfish's egg, only to find out that it's a bunch of rooms that are identical with no indication of where we're supposed to go inside. So it seems that our quest is not quite so over as it appeared to be. Fortunately, I think if we head back to town, we'll be able to find a little bit of help here. And while we're down here, before we do that, let's head up this way, because we haven't been up here before. It's not going to help us in the egg, but it is kind of a interesting little bit that we haven't seen yet. So how about some fishing, little buddy? I'll only charge you 10 rupees. Sure, we'll fish. Okay, here's how you do it. Use the D-pad to aim a cast. Once you hook a fish, press the button rapidly to reel them in. I'll only give you 5 rupees prize for that. You should try again. Okay, and he explains how to do it again. The reason I want to do this is because, one, we'll get a piece of heart, which, since I'm not going to search for the other pieces of heart, isn't going to help us much. But also because fishing is something that will show up kind of repeatedly in the Zelda games. And this is our first instance of fishing. If I recall correctly, I don't think we had any fishing in Link's Awakening, or Link to the Past. We're in Link's Awakening. Okay, the one I want to catch is this one, because I think he has the Piece of Heart. Come on. There we go. Oh, it's a big one, and it has a Piece of Heart, too. You get a 20 rupee prize on top of that. So you'll notice there were 5 fish in the pond. If we catch all of them, that ends up costing us 50 rupees. And with the large ones on top of the small ones, we end up, come on, it'll end up being 55 rupees altogether. Wow, nice fish, it's a lunker. I'll give you a 20 rupee prize. The last one we wouldn't make our money back, so not now. You have to have more passion, live a little. And so this is kind of our first instance of, like I said, the fishing minigame, which I find kind of interesting that we have a full minigame it's not giving us any prize that we absolutely need. It's just completely a bonus thing. You know, get a Piece of Heart and work your way towards a heart container. So, but it adds a little bit of variety to the world, and we get a little bit of. It's nice to have some of these things outside of our main quest. All right, but I think the big help is. Well, let's go check with Olreva first, see if he has anything to say. He'll probably direct us to the library anyway, but. This is Olreva. You're lost in the egg? No sir, I can't help you on that one. How about the library? And hey, don't stop calling me because I didn't know one little answer. Okay. That's pretty fair. You've given us plenty of answers throughout the game. Everybody's entitled to have some blind spot. Okay, I think it's this one. Dark Secrets and Mysteries of Koholint. Do we really want to read it? Yes. I forget if we checked this out at the beginning of the game. I think we did. But if we checked out the beginning of the game, it would say that we couldn't read it. The text was too small. But now we have the magnifying glass, so we can finish reading it. Round and round the passageways of the egg. Left, left, up, right, up, left, up. Left, left, up, right, up, left, up. Okay. This book reeks of secrets. Where are you from, brother? Outside the island? What is outside? I've never thought about it. You say the same thing? The giant egg on Mount Tamarack, they say the windfish is sleeping inside of it. Why? I don't know either. Okay. So now that we know that this is all a dream, the kid's not really like having any concept of outside. It kind of makes a little bit more sense. How often do people in the dream think about the world outside the dream? Okay. So we're ready to finally take on... or finally go wake the windfish. Is there any way I can see what this room looks like? Okay. I think I can kind of see the floor. Like, there's a little bit of floor here, and then the rest is just a pit. So, no, there's no way we can light it up to really see, but... Alright, but we want to go left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up. And it's been a while since I played, so I don't remember if that's the same code every time, or if it changes. But it does appear to be the right code this time. So, let's take a deep breath and jump in, see where it takes us. Oh, there's a little, looks like a windfish thing on the floor. We were born of nightmares to take over this world. We made the windfish sleep endlessly. If the windfish doesn't wake up, this island will never disappear. We would have been the masters of this place, but you had to come here and disrupt our plans. You can never defeat us. Let's rumble! Okay, that seems kind of an odd way to finish that. I think this is what I want. Okay, so if I hit him, he just explodes, which I don't think helps me very much. Magic powder's how we injure him. Oh, and hey, this looks a lot like Aghanim. Kind of interesting. We are facing a shadowy version of a boss that we've faced before in a completely different game. Oh, okay. And I need to not stand quite all the way across the screen. Ow. Why couldn't I still have that guardian acorn? Yep, just like the other Aghanim. And here we have Moldorm. For an enemy that's usually one of the earlier, easier enemies, Moldorm sure shows up a lot. Wasn't because he was the first enemy of this game, and now he's here in the final boss. And that happened in Link to the Past as well. That... No, stop. Ow. Let's see, what do we do here? Do this. Okay, that was good. Not sure what that was. It was just chased after us as a series of dots, and then the boomerang killed him. But then now this is... Alright, and once again, the boomerang one-shots this form, which was kind of like Goma. We had to wait for his eye to open up. If we didn't have the boomerang, we would have just had to shoot him with the arrows a bunch of times. This island is going to disappear. Our world is going to disappear. Our world. Our world. Thief, you have beaten all the nightmares. Climb the stairs before you. Remember, we're still thief because we stole the bow. Oh, we're climbing way high up. Hoot, young lad, I mean thief, the hero. You have defeated the nightmares. You have proven your wisdom, courage, and power. Hey, those are the three elements of the Triforce. As part of the Windfish's spirit, I am the guardian of his dream world. But one day the nightmares entered the dream and began wreaking havoc. Then you, thief, came to rescue the island. I have always trusted in your courage to turn back the nightmares. Thank you, thief. My work is done. The Windfish will wake soon. Okay, so the owl is part of the Windfish's spirit, and so now that the Windfish is going to wake up, he doesn't need to have this manifestation anymore. Goodbye, Hoot. Whoa! I am the Windfish. Oh, wow, he is a very decorated whale creature thing. Which, we'll recall earlier, one of the owl statues told us windfish in name only, for it is neither. And of course, a whale is not a fish, nor is a whale the wind. So, long has been my slumber. In my dreams, an egg appeared and was surrounded by an island with people, animals, an entire world. But verily it be the nature of dreams to end. When I dost awaken, Koholint will be gone. Only the memory of this dream land will exist in the waking world. Someday thou may recall this island. That memory must be the real dream world. Come, thief, let us awaken together. And so, despite the nightmare's insistence that we too would disappear with the Windfish's awakening, we appear to also be waking up, and so somehow this dream is primarily the Windfish's, but also ours as well. Play the 8 instruments. Play the Song of Awakening. Oh, we get to hear it again. Let me turn it up a bit. Everything's disappearing. I mean, good riddance to them, but... There's Terran. Marin. Little dogs. The sun, the seagulls flying over, and we are adrift at sea. Okay. Managed to tie a couple logs together, I guess. remains of our boat from the beginning. And there's the windfish. So even if it was a dream, it wasn't just our dream. We did actually help the windfish. And now there's a bunch of names appearing in front of me, which apparently I'm not sure. Looking on the Twitch stream, it looks like they might not be displaying properly. I'm guessing that they were meant to display semi-transparently, and this system just is not displaying them properly. Sorry about that. If you're truly interested, I'm sure you can look up the credits of this game and find out who did what. Probably be the easiest way to do it. So, let me turn down the music just a little bit, and we can kind of talk about some of the elements of this game. So, as I said, we woke up the windfish, and we appear to have also been one of the dreamers, since we did not disappear. We were not part of the windfish's dream, whereas everybody else was. And clearly, the sleeping and dreaming was an important element of this game. It's kind of one of the main themes, or probably the main theme. We had the entire game started with us waking up, or being woken up after being found on the beach. Our entire quest was to awaken a sleeper, similar to Zelda 2, when we had to go awaken... and there's the winged Marin. So, sorry, wanted to call attention to that, because that was actually one of my goals, was to get here without dying so we could see that scene. Cool. If we had... if you don't beat the game without dying, then instead of a winged Marin, it's a winged seagull just flies over the end. Okay. Is there any way to... So, so let's see. Yes, our goal was to awaken a sleeper. In this case, the windfish. Just like in Zelda 2, our goal was to awaken Zelda the first, I guess. We also had Terran dreamed or dreamt that he was a raccoon for a while after eating the mushroom. And interestingly enough, when he dreamed he was a raccoon, he actually kind of became a raccoon until we snapped him out of it. We had the Dream Shrine, where we got the Ocarina, where we actually had to go to sleep and wake up in the other part of the Dream Shrine in order to go find the Ocarina. The main boss enemies are known as nightmares, which of course is a rather sleepingish element. And we also had enemies from other games, enemies and characters from other games known for dreams. We had Wart, the frog that taught us the song, is as was pointed out, he's from Super Mario Brothers 2, which was another game about dreaming. We had other Mario enemies. We had Kirby as an enemy, which again, I believe Kirby's game, I think the NES version was actually Kirby's Dream World, which also sounds like it has to do with dreaming. And so, there was clearly quite a bit of dreaming elements put, in this game. Similarly, or furthermore, the fact that we were dreaming or that we were in a dream explains quite a bit of what was going on, I think, in retrospect. Uh, we saw references to Nintendo characters, like I just said, um, many relating to dreams, but even beyond that, uh, Marin, um, we at first mistook her for Zelda. Terran kind of had a Mario-ish look. There were other Mario enemies. We had a Yoshi doll, and so on. So, um, those don't necessarily fit in the Zelda world, but as a dream, we're dreaming. We can dream things that don't fit within our normal world. The fact that the kids, when we talk to them, they know a lot about game stuff. Like, oh, I've heard that to save your game or to save, just press all the buttons at once, or be sure to walk into a cave before saving. I don't know why. You know, the fact that they know this knowledge, on the one hand, at first it sounds like just kids being rather precocious or something, but in retrospect, it kind of makes sense that okay, they know this because they're part of the dream, and maybe in some sense that's the windfish trying to communicate to us. And similarly, what we don't see is when we talk to the kid, they don't have any concept of you know outside the island or how long they've been on the island or any any concept of when. It's just the present. Um, Papal, the dad of the quintuplets, uh, he says at the beginning of the game when we talk to him, like, I'll be lost up in the hills later, which seems kind of strange at the time, but it kind of makes sense, or at least a little bit more sense if we once we know that okay, this whole thing is a dream, and so in some sense, I guess he just knows that he's scripted to do that, um, or he can get a read on how the dream's going. Ulrava and the owl know where to go next, and are kind of our consistent guides throughout the game, giving us clues and hints. And one thing I think is kind of interesting is the fact that we see many familiar bosses, such as Moldorm and Goma and um, so on, but particularly rather unique bosses as well, such as Aghanim and Ganon. And so I have to wonder in this case, um, is this an instance of like Link's dreams, Link having an impact on the dreams? Maybe the nightmares kind of taking their cue from Link's memories and dreams, not just the Windfishes. We might imagine that Moblins and enemies like that and Stalfos might be popular enough that everybody would know about them, but uh, Aghanim, as since this was a sequel to the last game, Aghanim was just some guy that came into Hyrule and started taking over one day, and then we beat him, and he wasn't even the big bad. So it seems odd that like his fame would have spread far and wide. Um, and so I have to imagine that that would be a case of the nightmares, you know, trying to dig into Link's memories, uh, see what would give Link a hard time. Another major part of the game, I think, is music. On the one hand, we mentioned earlier, music is used to differentiate between the dungeons. We they're all variations of the cave theme, more or less, which uh, helps give all the themes like a dungeon feel. You're in a dungeon, but at the same time, they're each unique. And so, even though the visual differences are limited due to the nature of the Game Boy, we can still have every dungeon kind of have its own personality and its own um, have its unique look to it, or not look, but sound and feel. Um, we also see, so that's looking at the music outside the game as far as the player is concerned. Looking at music inside the game, as far as the characters are concerned, we again have an ocarina in this game. And so far, all the Zelda games have had some kind of a musical instrument, a flute or whistle or ocarina, and it did something magical. But in the previous games, um, I guess it's not completely clear where that magic is coming from. Is this a case of, for instance, in Zelda 1, when we play the flute and Whirlwind shows up to take us between the levels, or drains the lake so we can access, was it level 6 or level 7? Is that the particular song we're playing, or is that just magic that's within the instrument and it doesn't matter what we play, we would get that effect? It's unclear where the magic is. Here, it is quite clear that the magic comes from the music itself, because we have multiple different songs that have different effects, and we can see an example in Marin, as one of the ones who teaches us one of the songs. Her song has an effect on people nearby, even though she's not playing an ocarina, she's singing it. So maybe there's something magical about the ocarina itself, but it seems quite clear to me that the majority of the magic is in the song, not in the instrument. And of course, that's as far as the three songs that we learned go. But then there's also the sirens instruments that we had to collect, the instruments that we collected after each dungeon. That we went up and we tried playing the Ballad of the Windfish in front of the egg, and it didn't open until we collected all 8 of them. So in that sense, there is clearly some magic in the instruments as well. And so this is, we're starting to see a bit more. We're starting to see music and instruments become a bit more important in this Zelda game versus previous Zelda games. So, and then thinking of Marin, finally, it seems clear to me uh, Marin is one of the characters that really stands out in this game. In part, she's one of the ones we interact with the most, and actually converse with. And one of the unique things about her is she actually is interested in the outside world and wants to leave the island and go see other shores. She even says, she wishes she could become a seagull and fly to other shores and sing for people, which, as far as we know, um, seems to be unique among everybody on the island. Everybody else is just like, oh, you're from off the island? That's cool. I guess I never really thought about there being an off the island. But Marin is one that is like, I knew there was an off the island. I want to visit the off the island. And once I saw you, I knew that there were other places, and it brought her some hope. Furthermore, she knows the song to wake the windfish and actually tries to wake the windfish, or at least the owl seems to speculate that that's what she was doing up on the mountain when we rescued her. And in the entire game, she and Link are the only ones to actually take action like that and actually try to act to wake the windfish. We do have uh, like the owl and Ulvera helping us along the way, but they're giving us advice and having Link actually act, as opposed to Marin, who actually herself is trying to bring about the waking of the windfish. Um, and also, I note that she looks like something that Link knows. Presumably, because Link mistakes her for Zelda, um, and so all of this to me indicates that Marin is not a part of the Windfish's mind like everyone else is. Everyone else seems to be just part of the Windfish's mind, and when they they're just part of his dream. Marin is definitely within the dream, but she seems separate and different and unique. Um, and furthermore, when the fact that on the end screen we saw a winged Marin fly over, who in other instances is a winged seagull, and at the end, when we wake up, one of the first things we see is seagulls flying overhead. I have to think that one of those seagulls is actually Marin. That Marin, in effect, got her wish to become a seagull, and is now a seagull able to fly to other shores and sing for people. So this raises the question of who was Marin at the beginning of the game, or before the events of the game. Um, was she a part of the Windfish's mind that then became a seagull outside of the Windfish's mind? And that seems odd. Why would the Windfish break off part of his mind to make it a seagull? Uh, if or to put it another way, if Marin was part of the Windfish's mind, you'd think that her longing to go see other shores would be satisfied by the Windfish waking up and himself going and seeing other shores and whatnot. Which leads me to the conclusion that Marin uh, is a third person within the dream. We have the dream of the Windfish, accompanied by the dream of Link, and now the dream of Marin. And so, if that's the case, I would further say that then we would have to wonder, okay, so who was Marin before she entered the dream? Was she another shipwreck victim like Link? And that too seems kind of odd that Marin would be, transformed into a seagull when the Windfish didn't really help us do that. He just kind of left us in the water. Um, and I'm not really sure what powers the Windfish is supposed to have, but we don't really have any direct indication that he has the capacity to turn someone into a seagull. All of which leads me to the conclusion that Marin might have been a seagull to begin with, which um, I think. So that's the theory I go with, is that I think Marin was a seagull who uh, entered the Windfish's dream, and then for some reason within the dream she appeared as a human. Either maybe it was like a Little Mermaid thing, she was kind of wondering about humans, what they're like, and then so when she's dreaming, she dreamt that she was a human. Um, Maybe it was something about when she saw Link show up, interacting with Link, she viewed herself as a human. But the fact that we know that Terran in his dream within the dream was able to turn into a raccoon, I think lends some credence to the idea that you know Marin's form within the dream might not have been her real form. And so that's kind of a theory I'd come up with this game when I was thinking about it a little while ago. Is that Marin herself? My idea is that Marin herself was a seagull who somehow entered into the Windfish's dream, just like Link did, and within the dream viewed herself as a person. Um, which hopefully that not only do I think that makes sense within the given what we see within the game, but I think it also might help us think a little bit better. It make us feel a little bit better about the ending. That these seagulls overhead, everybody who we knew, yes, the dream disappeared, but they're not really gone because the Windfish, who was the dreamer, is there, and Marin, the one who actually seemed apart from all that, is still there as a flying merrily as a seagull. So with that, there is one more thing I'd like to point out within the game. Um, when we Another thing that this being a dream explains, um, if I think about it, is you might recall, when was it? After, it's like around level 3 or 4, we stole the bow from the store, and immediately after, everybody just started calling us thief. Which, if you think about it, seems kind of odd. It seemed kind of odd at the time, but if we really are, if this really is a dream, then that makes sense. That everybody would immediately know about that. Let's go back in and apologize to the shopkeeper for that. I wasn't kidding when I said pay. Now you'll pay the ultimate price. Oh dear. And that, kids, is why you should never shoplift. And with that, oh, we finally have a death on there. With that, I think we will. Let me switch over to the Wii, and we will. We will begin The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which is, of course, notable within the Zelda series for being the very first Zelda game to have a very annoying sidekick that we can't get rid of the entire game. Also, it's in 3D, but most notable for the first one. Okay, so here we have, hopefully you're seeing on stream, the Ocarina of Time instruction booklet. And let me... Hopefully this is all going to go smoothly. I haven't really tried streaming with my Wii before, but we'll try it. So as usual, let's start by looking through the manual for the story. The information about the N64 controller is not relevant and not really a part of the story. So, let's see. A long time ago, before life began, before the world had formed, 3 golden goddesses descended upon the chaotic land of Hyrule. They were Din, the goddess of power, Nehru, the goddess of wisdom, and Farore, the goddess of courage. Okay, so right away we're back to another creation story about Hyrule. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, this is the first time that we're... I don't believe these 3 entities had a name in A Link to the Past, although I might be misremembering. But I do know that in A Link to the Past... Just let me mute that. Okay. I do know that in A Link to the Past, we were told that they were just referred to as gods, not goddesses. This is the first time that they are referred to, as feminine deities, I believe. Okay, so we have Din, Nehru, and Farore. Din, with her strong, flaming arms, cultivated the land to create the earth. Nehru poured her wisdom onto the earth and gave the spirit of law to the world. Farore's rich soul created all life forms who would uphold the law. Okay, so we have Din, associated with flaming arms and creating earth, creating the substance itself. Nehru pouring her wisdom, so that's kind of, I guess it's kind of waterish. To give the spirit of law to the world, so she's giving order to things. And Farore's rich soul, it's not really associated with an element here, but is related to life itself, to uphold the law. So these 3 great goddesses return to the heavens, leaving behind the golden sacred Triforce. Since then, the Triforce has become the basis for Hyrule providence, where the Triforce stood. Where the Triforce stood became sacred land. Okay. So again, we have the three goddesses creating the world and then uh, leaving the Triforce behind, and the Triforce being this very important um, artifact. In the vast, deep forest of Hyrule, the Great Deku Tree served as the guardian spirit. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, lived with the Great Deku Tree. Each Kokiri had his or her own guardian fairy, except one. His name was Link. Early one morning, Link was having a nightmare. It was the same nightmare he had every night. During a storm, Link would find himself standing in front of a mysterious castle. A rider on horseback, carrying a girl, would race by. The girl would look up, or would link at Link as if to say something. Then another rider would appear. This big man, clad in black, would look down menacingly at Link. Link would then awaken. Link, hey, get up, Link. The Great Deku Tree wants to talk to you. As Link opened his eyes, he saw a fairy floating in front of him. This fairy's name was Navi. Navi was sent to summon Link to the Great Deku Tree. "Oh, Navi, thou hast returned," said the Deku Tree. "Thank you, Link, for coming. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. Uh, a vile climate pervades this world. Verily, ye have felt it. The time has come to test thine courage. I have been cursed. I need you to dispel the curse with your wisdom and courage. Art thou prepared?" No mention of our power. Link entered the Great Deku Tree and broke the curse. "Well done, Link. I knew that ye were worthy of carrying out my wishes. A wicked man of the desert cast this dreadful curse on me. Employing his vile sorcerous energies, the evil one is searching for the sacred realm connected to Hyrule, for it is there that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce, that contains the essence of the gods. Whoever holds the Triforce can make their wishes come true. Thou must never allow the desert man to lay his hands on the sacred Triforce. Thou must never suffer that man to enter the sacred realm of legend. Link, go now to Hyrule Castle. There ye will surely meet the Princess of Destiny. Present this stone to the princess. I have foreseen that she will understand everything." The Great Deku Tree gave Link the spiritual stone of the forest before dying. The Deku Tree's last words were, "The future depends upon thee, Link. Thou art courageous." Okay. And then here we have just a map of Hyrule and description of some of the people. Note that we now have, we're starting to see some more different races. I mean, we had already kind of had King Zora before, and some of the monsters would talk to us, but we're introduced Kokiri and Gorons. So I think this is, yep, now we just have the instructions on the game. So with that, let's jump in and see if we can get started on this game. So hopefully you can hear me and the stream as well. That does not sound right. See if just a second. Okay, so I want to try to fix this audio issue, so I'm going to end the stream briefly, but I will be right back in just a moment. So, see y'all in a couple minutes, alright? As well. Okay, so we should be streaming, should be recording. Let me adjust this down just a little bit. And all right. So we're on Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I am playing the GameCube disc of this. In part because I don't have an N64 or a device that'll easily play an N64 with HDMI output, and in part because this way I can just easily I can play a whole bunch of the Zelda games on my Wii through GameCube discs and Wii discs, so this way I only have to worry about getting one device set up. And the GameCube controller is kind of a nice, it's compatible with the Wii, and it's a nice, comfortable controller. But it should be, this should be identical to the N64 version. I believe this one was pretty much just a straight port. They didn't remake it and change a bunch of stuff. Okay. And let me see if at some point I'm gonna have to, let's see. This looks a little stretched on the stream, but I guess it doesn't look too bad. So I'll try to fix that for next time. But we'll go ahead with it as it is. Okay. Hey, we have numbers again. I can once again be JJ48. Okay. How is the audio on the stream? Are you able to hear the game audio okay? It's sounding a bit quiet to me, but maybe that's just me. In the vast, deep forest of Hyrule, long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. Oh, here's that dream we were. Oh, looks like I have a fairy in my dream. Oh, scary man. Navi, Navi, where art thou? Come hither. O Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it, the climate of evil descending upon the realm? Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But before this tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems the time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey. A youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Well, it seems like we're kind of laying on quite a bit of destiny here. Navi, go now, find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world depends upon thee. Okay. Fate of the world hinges upon this fairy. Zip around quite speedily. Wow, that's actually kind of impressive that she managed to hit that. Hello, JJ48, wake up! The Great Deku Tree wants to talk to you. JJ48, get up! Hey, come on! Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? Better than relying on such a irritating fairy. Okay, I'm up. Who are you and why are you in my room? Finally woke up. I'm Navi the Fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. I'll reserve my judgment. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going right now. Okay. Oh, and who's this? Ooh, hi, JJ48. Okay, that was a very important cutscene. This little drawing of a dinosaur and somebody fighting it. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you, JJ48. That's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri. Okay, that's what makes a true Kokiri, I guess. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you? It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. Okay. Great Deku Tree has summoned you. Please come with me. Well, I'd come with you, but you're just staring at my sign. Let me see. Is there... Okay, no, it's... I was trying to see if there's any settings I can change, but that's wasn't something that was very common at the time, so we just have to make do with the controls being what they are. I want to talk to everybody first. Oh, a fairy finally came to you. Now you have a lot to learn. The best place to go to learn some new skills is in the Forest Training Center. It's on the hill just above here. In here? House of the Know-It-All Brothers. Yeah, did you know I was gonna do that? If you want to learn about the map and items, just ask me, but don't ask unless you want to hear a long explanation. Okay. Probably don't actually need to hear all the instructions. Just remember this, if you want to save, press start to get into the subscreens, then press B. Okay. Not, probably don't need to hear all their explanations. The important thing is we do have a little bit of a tutorial in-game if we want to hear all the information. We can go to them rather than just reading in the book. So what's this way? Forest folk shall not leave these woods. Oh. You're good at blocking. You're not allowed to leave the forest. The Great Deku Tree said that if a Kokiri leaves the woods, he or she will die. Do you even have any eyes? You don't seem to. You track me very well for someone who doesn't seem able to see. A by the stone, pick it up. A by the stone, pick it up. You know, Mido, he made me pick up the rocks in front of his house. It's really not that hard. Oh, you have a fairy now. That's great. What? You've been called by the Great Deku Tree. What an honor. He may give you a special gift. It's because the Great Deku Tree is our father, the Forest Guardian, and he gave life to all of us Kokiri. Anybody else see, like, the, there's, like, lightning bugs or something flying through the air, and sometimes you see paths, like, right in front of me, right in front of the camera. Stepping stones in the pond. If you boldly go in the direction you want to jump, you will leap automatically. If you hop around on the stones, you'll become happier. Okay, so that's... On the last game we had Rock's Feather to be able to jump on command. Here it's just whenever we reach a ledge, we'll jump off a set distance. Hi, JJ48, look this way. Look over here with L and talk to me with A. Yes, yes, that's how you use a fairy. It's so great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using your fairy. When a fairy flies near a person or a thing, press L to look in that direction. And if we use L targeting, we can talk to people from a distance, like we're doing now. Okay, usually I just kind of talk louder in the direction of a person, but I suppose having to target them and press L works too. When you have nothing that you can target, you can press L just to look forward. Try it. Okay. Okay, so Great Deku Tree's meadow is that way. That meanie Mido made me cut the grass at Saria's house. Mido told Saria he would do it so she would like him, but I'm the one doing all the work. You and Saria are close friends, so will you help me cut the grass? I'll let you keep anything that you find while cutting it. Well, I don't have anything to cut it, I can pull it, I guess. But that doesn't seem to do anything. So, one thing I know is, with us being in this town and all, or this village, just setting out, haven't met the princess yet, haven't... I think this seems to be kind of another reboot of the story. Especially since we kind of got the creation myth again. Though also interesting, so far, two of the characters we've encountered are Mido or Mido and Saria, who you might recall, those were the names of two of the towns in Zelda 2. And Saria was Watertown, the third town we visited, and Mido was the Harbor Town, the fourth town we visited. Hey you, Mr. No Fairy, what's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. Okay, well, we're kind of all kids, not men, but... What, you've got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mito? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and shield ready? Well, you're right, I don't have my equipment ready, but... If you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Sheesh. Okay, so we have to go get a sword and a shield. Well, let's see if the shop here has anything. The shop, it sells things you can get in the forest for free. Teehee. Do you know how to use the Deku shield? Teehee. When you get the shield, press start to get into the subscreen. Select the equipment. Okay. On the equipment subscreen, choose the item you want to equip and press A to equip that item. Once you equip it, hold it up with R and change its angle with that. So, okay, we'll need 40 rupees for the Deku shield. I'll give you 6 for it. No, okay, guess not. Okay, well, we got some rupees. Now, let's see if Sorry has anything to say. Yeah, I couldn't speak to the Deku Tree because, Mito's being a jerk. What? Mito won't let you go to see the Great Deku Tree? I'm gonna call him Mito and Mito and keep alternating between the two. I'm not sure why, just, depending on when I'm speaking, it just, sometimes it sounds better one way or the other to me. I apologize for that. Won't let you go to see the Great Deku Tree? Oh, that bum. I don't know why he's always so mean to everyone. What he said is true, though. The forest, strange things have been happening here lately. You need to be ready for anything. You'd better find a weapon. You can buy a shield at the shop, but there is only one sword hidden somewhere in the forest. I think what it is Mito sounds more like how I would expect the Japanese reading of that to be, and that's also how I tend to pronounce the town in Zelda 2. But Mito just sounds more like a name, like a Western name, I guess. Forest Training Center. Don't recklessly cut signs. Read them carefully. Okay. And climb on fences. You do the same thing? Yep. That's very inconsistent names sometimes. Thrust your sword, tilt towards your target while Z-targeting, then use B. Well, I'll need to find a sword first. Cut grass. If you just swing with B, you'll cut horizontally. If you hold L as you swing, you'll cut vertically. Okay. If you see a triangle icon above a target, you can switch with L. Okay, you can target the stones, so we can so if we press L again, then we can switch. I don't want anything targeted. Hole of L. Let's go through this small hole. Stand in front of the hole and push towards it. When it shows enter, we can enter. Pay attention to what the action icon says. Yeah, the A button is kind of what we'd use for everything here. Hey, let's work on some moves. To jump sideways while L targeting, press A as you move right or left. To do a backflip while L targeting, press A as you move backwards. To do a roll attack while L targeting, press A as you move forward. Okay. While you roll, you can avoid damage. If you have your sword ready while L targeting, you can do a jump attack by pressing A. Jump attack does double damage. You can use L targeting on the stone left next to me, so let's practice. is going to take some getting used to fighting this way. Because I've played some of the more recent Zeldas, and I've been playing the older Zeldas. So going back to N64 controls might be a little bit rough. Especially, this was one of Nintendo's early, like, third-person third-person 3D games. So, and I think the genre itself was still rather new, so they were kind of inventing a lot of the camera stuff for this game and controls and things. So it's not quite as refined as you know, a lot of the stuff that we kind of take for granted nowadays. When you have no object to look at, you can just look forward with L. It can help you get oriented in the direction you want to face. It's quite convenient. Okay. So there we can do that to that, and we can also strafe if we're Z-targeting. Okay, our first danger, giant rolling stone. Okay, helps us see around the corner. Okay, nice little advertisement for the Know-It-All Brothers house. That sword looks pathetic. I think I've had steak knives that look more intimidating than that. You got the Kokiri sword, and the equipment subscreen. Select it with the cursor and equip it with A. Hidden treasure of the Kokiri, but you can borrow it for a while. Be sure to practice with it before you really fight. Okay, so I mean, the blade is about the size of Link's head. That's not a... I guess that would be something you could do some damage with. That's more of a dagger than a sword. On the other hand, it does kind of fit with the kind of childish nature of the Kokiri, that the sword almost seems like a toy. So now we just need to get 10 more rupees, and we will be able to go get our shield as well. Okay, we wanted to... That's how we do a jump attack. It's the side attacks that are tough to do without either going backwards or forwards. Okay. Wait a second, I thought... Cyan, I thought you told me I could do horizontal cut. Okay, there's horizontal cuts. That looked like there was a rupee up there. Here, I'll help you cut the lawn. Will you help me cut the grass? I already did. The only bit that hasn't been cut is the part that you're still futilely pulling on. Okay. Hee hee, you came all the way up here? You're a real man. I thought the fairy made me a real man. Or having items made me a real man. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of standards for being a real man in this game. Look, isn't this view pretty? And change your viewpoint with up so you can look around the view forest with. Okay, so if we do this, we can get first person view, and the up down is inverted. Okay. I want to run off. Jump. Okay, I need one more rupee and then I can get a shield. Where can I find it? No, you're still pulling on that one. Oh, there we go. There's a rupee. I like that he can barely see over the counter. Alright. We got a Deku shield. Switch to the equipment subscreen. Okay. Press R to crouch and defend. If you press R while Z targeting, you can move while defending. Nope, I don't have any money anyway. Okay, so here's how we defend. If we're Z targeting, or if we're just holding Z, then we can actually move around while defending. Okay. Nope, that's diving. That's not swim faster. Let's go see what Saria has to say first. I wonder if she'll be impressed with our shield with a squiggle on it. And our steak knife of sharpness. Okay, I can buy a shield. Yeah, I already have both of them though, see? Oh, sorry, I did not mean to slice at you there. I am terribly sorry if I killed you. Not so sorry if I kill Mita though. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and shield. I already have, buddy. Yeah, what's that? Oh, you have a Deku shield. And what's that? That's not a sword, that's a steak knife. Is that the Kokiri sword? Good grief. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? Yeah, I don't see what that has to do with the current situation, though. I, the Great Mita, will never accept you as one of us. Shoot, how did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree, huh? Grumble, grumble. You're not supposed to say grumble, grumble, you're supposed to just actually grumble. Ow. We got a Deku stick. Okay. One thing that Navi can do for us is I can easily look up the names she'll tell me what they are, rather than having to have a screen open like I had to with some of the previous Zelda games. This is a Deku Baba. Though it looks withered, it will hurt if you touch it. Yeah, we found that out. Great Deku Tree, I'm back! Yeah, can you take her back? I really don't need a fairy. I think I'll just go on without one. Oh, Navi, thou hast returned. JJ48, welcome. Listen carefully to what I, the Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a vile climate pervades the land and causes nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. JJ48, the time has come to test thy courage. I have been cursed. I need you to break the curse with your wisdom and courage. Dost thou have courage enough to undertake this task? Sure, why not? Then enter brave JJ48, and thou too, Navi. Navi the fairy, thou must aid JJ48. And JJ48, when Navi speaks, try not to swat her out of the sky, and listen to her words of wisdom. Okay. So you're just gonna eat us? Is that how it is? Not this. Nice. That was one of the ones on the ground. Are the audio volumes still okay for the game music? The fairy tale aspect feels really strong in this iteration. Yes, in that we are literally kind of in a fairy realm at the moment. Hit it when it lunges at you and it will stand upright. Cut it quickly to get a Deku stick. Okay. Excuse me. Can't shoot beams out of my sword like I could in other games. Then again in other games I actually had a sword, not just a dagger, toothpick. What's Navi saying? Here. Look, you can see down below this web using up. Well, not when I have to talk to you using up. Oh yeah, you can. That is a deep hole. Okay, let's see what's up here. Music's a little loud. Okay, let's see, maybe that'll be a little better. I can hear it through my headset, but I can adjust the volume of that on my own, so I don't necessarily hear how loud it is in relation to the stream. Okay, so there's a. Wasn't there a? Oh, there's a. If we climbed up the vines, we'd climb up right there. Okay. Skullwalchula. Be careful not to touch it. Thanks, Navi. Really great advice there. Look at this wall. The vines growing on it give it a rough surface. Maybe you can climb it. And so it begins. You found the dungeon map. Alright. Blue chambers are places you have already visited. Your current location is the flashing room. And we can change different floors. Okay, so how does this look to us? Okay, so we're in this room which extends up a ways. And those must be the floors, or at least that's the floor that we saw through the webbing. Okay, yeah, might as well save. You can open a door by standing in front of it and pressing it. Well, I was going to say I've been opening doors my entire life, but then, come to think of it, I guess I didn't see any doors in Kokiri Village, so maybe I do need instructions on how to open a door. pay attention to what the action icon says. That's the green icon at the top of the screen. What screen are you talking about? I'm a person, not a video game. Deku Scrub. It will hide in the grass if you get close to it. Bounce the nuts it spits back at it. Ow, ow, ow. Forgive me, Master. If I give you a clue, will you let me go? No. When you jump off a high cliff, if you hold forward, you will roll on the ground when you land and won't get hurt from the fall. I can't guarantee it will work, though, if the cliff is really, really high. Well, try it if you're feeling bold. Wahaha. Alright, that was our, I guess that's not even really a mini-boss, that was just a locked room encounter. That was our first dungeon fight. Okay, so let's see. Look, something is hanging up there. It looks like an old ladder. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Oh yeah, there's a ladder. You found the fairy slingshot. On the select item subscreen, we can assign it to a C button. Use C to take it out and hold it. As you hold C, you can aim with that release C to unleash a Deku Seed. If you want to shoot right away when you first use C, hold down C a little longer to get a seed ready. Didn't realize how similar Kingdom Hearts is to the style of this game. Well, there's definitely some similarities. I think the biggest one is just this was one of the early 3D third-person games with like the camera following you as opposed to like first-person view, what I'm doing right now. So they kind of developed a lot of the between this and like Mario 64. Nintendo developed a lot of things that would kind of become standard for many such games. A recovery heart. Your life energy is recovered. It was already full. So that's... Look, something is hanging up there. Yeah, I was aiming at Navi. Missed, of course. If you find all the criticism of Navi rather tiring, I do apologize, but I probably won't be stopping anytime soon. Okay, let's see. Got a Deku nut, alright. Try throwing it. It will flash and stun the enemies. So we have naturally occurring flashbangs in this game. And Deku Seeds, these are small hard seeds that we can use as bullets for your slingshot. Alright. That sounds like that's all the Skulltulas in the area, so we should be good to climb up here. big Skulltula. Its soft belly is its weak point. Ow. Navi, you said it was... Okay, so we have those. Okay. Looks like that torch was burning not too long ago. Wait, so we're inside the Deku Tree. And he has... I mean, the monsters, I guess, are part of the curse, but are these torches part of the curse, or does he just normally have fire burning inside it? That seems like a really bad idea for a tree. Okay. We got a compass. We can see the locations of many hidden things in the dungeon. So, for instance, we can see that there's a chest in this room. Okay, so I think we're going to need to get this up. Again. And I took out the Skulltula, so... But there's another Skulltula back here. This one is kind of shiny. I think he's upside down at the moment when he's right side up, or with his head towards the ground. Then it kind of looks skullish. Maybe more like some kind of reptilian skull. And interestingly enough, we cannot L-target him. You destroyed a gold Skulltula. You got a token proving you destroyed it. Okay, cool. We will have to see what those are all about later in the game. For now, we'll just kill any gold Skulltulas we come across. I would like to try to get all the gold Skulltulas. I think you need all of them in order to be able to get the bonus. So that one, when we get there, I might end up looking at a guide or something for, because I'm not at all confident in my ability to find them without one. But we'll do our best in the meantime. Alright. Whee! There we go, just had to jump from a bit of a height. Well, yeah. I wasn't scared, I meant to do that. Okay. Alright. Oh, there's another gold Skulltula. Oh, you'll let me lock onto that, but won't let me... Okay, let's see. How do I get at it? There we go. I think I've been playing quite a bit of 3DS and Wii and Switch games, Zelda games, because I find myself actually, when I'm in first-person mode, tilting my controller as if I expect that to control the, where I'm looking. So let's see, what do I want to do? Okay. Okay, so I think if we're here, this is shallower water. Okay. Is there a... No, okay. And the torches do burn away after a while, so... Please forgive me, Master. I'll never do it again. If you spare me, I'll teach you something cool. What? Like, what did the last one teach us? How to roll when we jump off of stuff? You will never beat my brothers up ahead unless you punish them in the proper order. The order is 2, 3, 1. 23 is number 1. You think I'm a traitor? Yep. You are absolutely a traitor. Okay, up. What now, Navi? After you get into the water, if you hold down A, you can dive. I bet there are some interesting things underwater. You think so? Let's see. Oh yeah, so interesting. Well, this switch is... It's not uninteresting, I guess. Stand next to this block and grab hold of it with A. While holding A, you can push or pull it. If you stand next to the block and press A while pressing towards the block, you can climb on top of it. Pay attention to what the action icon... Yes, I've heard that bit before. Okay. Yeah, those guys grow back. Okay. If we, like, swing our sword to put away the Deku branch, then it won't burn up and we'll still have it. So, good. Where are we in the dungeon? So we still have one more room to go before we loop back on our selves. Good. sure I would, I'm not sure how comfortable I would feel taking on a spider that's larger than I am. And armor-plated, so slashing it with the sword just kind of causes it to rock a bit. Whoa, where did you come from? What are you? Goma larva, look out when it gets ready to pounce. Whoa. Okay, in real life, I don't know that I've ever, like, tried pushing something larger than me and then accidentally climbed on top of it. In this game, I will be surprised if it doesn't happen at least once at some point. I was kind of hoping for some hearts. Oh, there's some hearts. Okay. Okay, so we need to... We're looking for 2. Okay, somehow I need to... There we go. Need to make it so that their shots don't bounce into each other. How did you know our secret? How irritating. It's so annoying that I'm going to reveal the secret of Queen Goma to you. Wait, getting beaten was so annoying and that's going to cause you to reveal the secret of Queen Goma to you? Or the fact that you're going to reveal the secret of Queen Goma to me is what is so annoying? I think your syntax is a little ambiguous there. In order to administer the coup de grace to Queen Goma, strike with your sword while she's stunned. Oh, Queenie, sorry about that. Yeah, well, you're, like, living inside the guardian of our forest, so I'm not really too... I don't pity you too much. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Eyeballs are not supposed to do that. Parasitic Armored Arachnid Goma. It's one of the parasitic monsters inside the Deku Tree. Its eye is vulnerable when it's red. Ah, almost had it. it's laying eggs. Great. Yeah, you want to help me find that thing again? Oh, never mind. Got it. Hey, you want to turn your eye red? Thank you. Okay. And so this is also the... is this our first returning enemy? I don't think we've had the Deku Shrubs or the Deku Scrubs or Deku Babas in any previous game. Nor Skulltulas. So yeah, I think Goma is our first returning enemy, unless I'm missing something. Okay, we did have the boulder just before we collected the sword, and boulders have been around since the very first Zelda game, so we do have that. Okay, we got a heart container. Maximum life energy is increased by 1 heart. Life energy will be totally filled. Well done, JJ48. Yeah, feeling better? Um, Thou hast verily demonstrated thy courage. I knew that thou wouldst be able to carry out my wishes. Now I have yet more to tell ye. Wouldst thou listen? Sure. Now listen carefully. A wicked man of the desert cast this dreadful curse upon me. Okay. And then he rode through some flames? This evil man ceaselessly uses his vile sorceress powers in his search for the sacred realm that is connected to Hyrule. For it is in that sacred realm that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce, which contains the essence of the gods. Before time began, before spirits and life existed, 3 golden goddesses descended upon the chaos that was Hyrule. Din, the goddess of power. Nehru, the goddess of wisdom. Farore, the goddess of courage. And for some reason they all look like trophies or hood ornaments or something. They bombed the world with fire, and that brought order to the chaos. Okay. Din, with her strong flaming arms, she cultivated the land and created the Red Earth. Nehru, sonic booms, poured her wisdom into the earth and gave the spirit of law to the world. Farore, with her rich soul, produced all life forms who would uphold the law. Okay, just thought we'd create the world and now we're off. 3 great goddesses, their labors completed, departed for the heavens. And golden sacred triangles remained at the point where the goddesses left the world. Since then, the sacred triangles have become the basis of our world's providence, and the resting place of the triangles has become the sacred realm. Thou must never allow the desert man in black armor to lay his hands on the sacred Triforce. Thou must never suffer that man with his evil heart to enter the sacred realm of legend. That evil man who cast the death curse upon me and sapped my power. Because of that curse, my end is nigh. No one noticed that a big guy from the desert dressed all in black just came through the village to the Deku Tree to when pretty much everybody we know and ever sees little tiny kids, but because of that curse, my end is nigh. Though your valiant efforts to break the curse were successful, I was doomed before you started. Okay, good to know. Yes, I will pass away soon, but do not grieve for me. I have been able to tell you of these important matters. This is Hyrule's final hope. And Link just kicking back on the ground, listening to the Deku Tree saying he's gonna die. Okay, whatever. JJ48, go now to Hyrule Castle. There thou will surely meet the Princess of Destiny. I want to meet the Princess of Hyrule. Take this stone with you, the stone that man wanted so much that he cast the curse on me. Okay, so then he'll come after me. Oh, look, the gold pattern of the gold pattern on the stone kind of matches the symbol on my shield. You got the Kokiri's Emerald. This is the spiritual stone of the forest, now entrusted to you by the Great Deku Tree. The future depends upon thee, JJ48. Thou art courageous. Navi the fairy helped JJ48 to carry out my will. I entreat ye, Navi. Goodbye. Let's go to Hyrule Castle, JJ48. Wow, seriously? That's your follow-up to... That is just heartless, Navi. Goodbye, Great Deku Tree. Okay, that should have come first. Not an afterthought. Okay, hey guys, the great guardian of our entire forest is dead, so I just thought you should know. Hey, JJ48, what did you do? The Great Deku Tree, did he die? How could you do a thing like that? It's all your fault. Well, I mean, not really, but... Okay. What is... Sorry, Sorry, I thought Sorry said she was waiting right here for us. Should she go inside? Okay, nope. Maybe she's inside her house. Is this her house? Yeah. She's got a lot of hearts just lying on the floor. Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll find out and talk to her next time. So, since we're running low on time, let's just kind of think about this dungeon a bit, what we've seen so far. So far in the manual we were looking at, we kind of, the manual kind of covered the story the same as it was in game, just kind of in brief. We still had the bit about the three goddesses. We still have the, we were told about Link, the boy without a fairy, and getting called by the Deku Tree, and the Deku Tree's dying words to us. So hopefully that wasn't a big spoiler to anybody, since we had read about it in the manual before we even started playing the game. And so far, this is kind of looks like it's shaping up to be another reboot of the franchise. Again, we start with the creation story. If nothing else, this is a completely different Link, it seems, than the previous games. We're not living with our uncle and being called telepathically by Zelda. We're just living in the woods here. So, as we go through this, we'll kind of see if we can, if we think this sounds like it's a new start to the series, or whether we think it's a continuation. Just kind of like we did with the last one, or with the Link to the Past when we saw that. And until then, I guess we'll be looking at that, and next week we should hopefully, should be here next week, and we'll move on to Hyrule Castle, and hopefully meet Princess Zelda, and see where we go from there. So until then, hope you all have a good night and a good week, and see you later. Thanks.